Join the private sector energy efficiency movement led by the National Business Initiative by plugging into energy efficiency and stem the tide of rising energy costs.
Okay, so the next thing we need to look at is the pricing of lights, right? Because in order to now calculate what we need to replace these lights with, obviously price is going to play a significant role in the decisions that we're making. And the prices vary greatly. I mean, you guys have seen the differences in light prices. I'm sure you've been approached by different lighting salespeople selling anything from a 2-watt LED to put in the highway up until a 100-watt floodlight as a desk lamp. So, which is why I'm hoping to empower you in order to make the correct decision, which is also why we went through the technologies earlier so that you can know what to look for and so on. They obviously depend on the size. You guys know that a 3-watt LED and a 10-watt LED is not going to cost the same. Similar with mercury vapor lights. 250-watt mercury vapor light costs about 600 Rand, 1,000-watt costs about 1,000 Rand. So the type of fittings actually influence the cost of lights. Now, LED downlights come in two versions. So the first one is the GU10, which sits directly on 220 volt, which has two fetish-like type of prongs, while the 12 volt one is called MR16, which has the two very thin spokey-like prongs, which is the ones shown in this one. These are called the MR16, which is a 12 volt type of fitting. And if you take the exact same light for the GU10 or the MR16, there will be a difference in pricing. It might be small, but for some other light types, it might be significant. Another thing that could influence the cost is the color. So we're looking at warm white or cool white. And then controllability. I'm sure some of you might also have had issues with controlling of LED lights. We see that quite often. People install LED lights on their downlights and their home lights, and then they use a dimmer and they see that the LED downlights either stop working completely or they flicker and come on and off. So some of the lights are better in terms of controllability, and some of the lights can't be controlled at all. They'll only work at a certain voltage level, and obviously for the controllable ones, you'll pay a certain amount more. The controllability is largely dependent on the electronic control circuits that they use. Which could either work with the voltage ramps or spikes on your 50 hertz, which is sometimes provided by ESCOM, sometimes not. And all of these things will impact the cost of your life. And then one thing I'd like to urge you guys is to consider the life cycle costing of lighting. Because often when lights fail, people think, okay, well, to replace a fluorescent tube is going to cost me $50 or $60 for this light, and an LED tube is going to cost me 250 or 300 Rand. Why would I spend the extra capital to do this? And life cycle costing simply says that over the amount of 5 years' time, or whatever this light's going to run, the capital cost is going to be 10% of the running time of the cost of the light, and the energy spent is going to be 90% of the light's cost. In which case, the total cost over a 5-year period of a fluorescent light might be 5,000 Rand to buy and to run it. Also, in a 5-year period, you might need to replace a fluorescent light. So that's 2 times capital cost plus your running time. So it'll be, let's say, 60 Rand plus the energy spent over the 5 years' time. While the LED tube will only be 1 times capital expenditure, so it's only 300 or 350 Rand that you're spending, plus the energy consumed over the 5-year period, which could, and I'm probably sure if you do the calculations, you'll see that it will add up to significantly less than the running cost of a fluorescent tube, but we'll get to that a little bit later.